I'm Brigadier Aditya Madan. Let's see what is happening between Taliban and Pakistan. This year, there have been two suicide bombings, and both in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. On 16th February, 11 soldiers were killed. On 21st February, Pakistanis, one soldier and a lieutenant colonel got killed. Pakistan then launched airstrikes on 22nd February on Kabul, Kandahar, and Paktia. The point to note is that this is the first time that Pakistan has attacked Taliban military facilities and not the militants with air to ground missiles. And now, on 26 February, Taliban has attacked border outposts, and four countries are trying to mediate now: Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey. Let's see the background to all of this. Point to note is that once Taliban and Pakistan, they were very close allies. Taliban's top leadership was based in Quetta when Taliban was fighting against USA forces and Afghan government. But when Taliban captured Kabul and established Islamic Emirate in 2021, suddenly these strong allies they have become adversaries now. But what went wrong? Let's analyze that. When Taliban was an insurgency, they relied heavily on Pakistan's support to fight USA forces in Afghanistan. Why Pakistan supported Taliban? Mainly, there were two reasons. Pakistan was not happy with India's growing influence in Afghanistan as we were developing infrastructure, we were developing dams, bridges in Afghanistan. And secondly, Pakistan hoped that when Taliban comes to power, Pakistan will get its strategic depth. The major cause of Taliban's resentment is the Durand Line, which is 2640 kilometers drawn between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Durand Line was drawn between British India and Afghanistan in 1893 and consequently inherited by Pakistan. No Afghan government since monarchy collapsed in 1973 has accepted this line. This Durand line cuts through Pashtun and Baloch areas and is not recognized even by Taliban. They say that Durand line was artificially drawn by Mortimer Durand, who was the Foreign Secretary of British India. Mortimer forced Afghanistan ruler Abdul Rahman Khan to accept this line. Taliban's claim that the line was drawn to define basically two zones: one where British will have influence, and the other where Afghanistan will have control. Whereas Pakistan says that it was a proper international boundary. Actually, when Durand Line was drawn, Afghanistan urged British government many times to relinquish agreement, which British refused. Had British agreed, then all Pashtun lands would have gone to Afghanistan from British India and Indus would have become a border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. Another point to note is that during Taliban insurgency, Pakistan did not have any problems related to refugees or crossings through Durand Line as they wanted to stay on the right side of Taliban. Pakistan now wants to control each and every movement across the Durand line, whereas Taliban wants free movement of Pashtuns and their relatives for trade, and they don't want Pakistan to interfere. Another issue we need to understand is that there are two types of Taliban. One is TTP, Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and other one is Afghan Taliban, or in earlier Pakistani words, good Taliban and bad Taliban. Organizationally different, but ideologically aligned. Afghan Taliban aim was to expel USA troops and defeat Islamic Republic security forces of then Afghanistan and turn the Afghanistan into Islamic Emirate. And finally, they achieved the aim. TTP wants to replicate Afghanistan Taliban success in Pakistan ideally, but at least in tribal regions. TTP's ultimate objective is to establish Islamic Caliphate by overthrowing Pakistan government because many TTP fighters are ethnically Pashtuns with their families and relatives living in Afghanistan. Now, the seeds of this major bone of contention was in fact laid in 2018 when Pakistan did away with the tribal agencies in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Recently, Pakistan has deported forcefully 17 lakhs Afghanistan refugees back to Afghanistan, which has further worsened its relations with Afghanistan. We'll keep tracking for you the rising tensions between Taliban and Pakistan. Thank you. Jai Hind.